roller coaster of a series, we saw a pretty one-sided affair over on Inferno. Eternal Fire's map pick, and they were able to take it 16-8, so pretty dominant stuff. Here on Nuke, it's Kova's pick. It's their better map, but unfortunately, not only are they the underdogs in the series to start off with, but now they're the underdogs and they're a map down. The odds really portraying that we just saw from our partners at Pinnacle. The first kill going their way, though, and WOXİC really struggling to connect ahead, but finally gets one with the final bullets in 2000 as well. Takes another, wants to take one more with him to the grave, but can't quite do so. But regardless, he's done his job, and he's done it magnificently. Yuli, beautiful bit of patience there, expecting Emor to wrap around the Julies. Not able to go cowboy mode. And for Calyx... Ooh, can't quite connect the head. A man down, not necessarily the way that you want to start off the Nuke game if they can't take the pistol. And they're on the wrong bomb site. He's expecting them to come out onto the A bomb site. That's not going to be the case. The C4's already wrapped its way down to B. Spargo just keeping them busy with the sound cues. They're trying to bait out Yuli here on the ladder. Calyx! An unlikely angle to find the headshot, but he takes it. 2v2, no kit in play, so they really do need to speed this up. A lot of time pressure mounting. Very difficult crossfire configuration to try and break here. He said needed to hit that shot, and without it, it's kind of round over. ZKS actually doing all the work. Spargo just a bit of a distraction there. I didn't actually post much of a distraction either. He was just kind of there. Either way, they pick up the round and in a decent fashion as well. WOXİC with a lot of early shots here, but that headshot was really what turned it. And the second as well. Buys a lot of time, a lot of space for his teammates. Unfortunately, they just don't know how to use it. Going into the second round, an interesting buy here. On both parts, to be honest. Kova going for the util, a couple of MAC-10s, a couple of Galils, that AK on ZKS. On the other side of things, pistols is all we see. And as I mentioned before, with that Deagle nerf, we don't see 4 Deagles as we may have previously. We see 2 5.7s in the midst. A nice kill from WOXİC. That's Twixie gone. WOXİC low on health, but Yuli's also low, so a definite advantage here for Eternal Fire. If WOXİC can find another, this will be huge. He's on a very interesting angle, and ooh, almost able to get that sideline onto ZKS, but he's just not quick enough. As they start to burst through, Yuli challenged by Emor, the 5.7, chomping away. And it takes a couple of heads. ZKS now needs to clutch up a 1-on-3. First kill delivered. Spots out the second. One taps in. But there's not enough bullets in the clip. Only 4 of them. And he can't reload. Doesn't want to switch to the pistol. And Xantares takes advantage of that all day long. 1-1. Eternal Fire tie up the scoreline. It was a hell of an attempt from ZKS. But it wasn't the 4K. It wasn't the 1v3 clutch that he needed. Look at those odds. 1.1 to 6.8. Really starting to lean further and further in Eternal Fire's favour. And I think the thing is with being a Nuke team, and this applies to pretty much every single team that like Nuke, unless you're really good with your T-side, which are a lot of teams just aren't great with their T-side of Nuke, then it's always difficult because you pick into Nuke, you're confident with it because it's one of your better maps, but you're allowing your opponents to play the first half on that CT side. When you're up against an opponent like Eternal Fire, who kind of at their core fundamentally are a better side, letting them start off on the CT side of Nuke's always a dangerous game to play. Twixie with the Desert Eagle. Yuli, the only man with a rifle in play here. He was the only man that had enough cash to go for it. He's about to take a duel with Xantares. Deep wall of smokes, and Xantares has let him slip right through. That's such a huge mistake, and it's not been calmed at all. As soon as that wall of smokes goes down, Xantares, instead of falling into A main, where he could have then supported the Squeaky Doorman and held, he kind of fell away expecting the wrap around, and well, it almost cost them dearly. Luckily, he's able to pick up the pieces, and WOXİC does a hefty job as well up from heaven. He's coming alive here on Nuke. We saw him very, very slow to get started on Inferno. For Spargo, though, 22 points of health. And not a lot of hope here in this clutch. WOXIC's low, so if you can find him, then there's a chance. Or if he can find Xantares' head, I think he's got a greater chance of this one. But Xantares swings wide, knows that the Desert Eagle will probably be holding a tight angle, expecting a jiggle, and he reads it beautifully. Another little Pinnacle banner popping up. Remember, win more with low margins and bet more with high limits, folks. Pinnacle, of course, our partners for this tournament. teb.gg/welcome is where you want to head if you want to sign up. And if you use code 421, then you get a great promotion they're running at the moment, which is bet €10, get €10. WOXİC, a big opening kill. Of course, only against the pistols. Kind of feel good frags. Last round, even though it didn't seem like they were against much, it was everything the Kova could muster. It was a full investment to some degree. Oh my goodness, Seymour adds a bit of EM right through the door. Laser-like precision onto his opponent. And they're aware that one's above hut. They're aware that one's behind red. They just don't want to risk losing these rifles to fight them. They're going to do so regardless. Spargo gets taken out from behind. That's Calix with the MP9 on a little bit of a pincer, a bit of a backstab. And he'll get some extra cash for his troubles. Not going to upgrade either. Wants to stick with that MP9 by the looks of things. AK-47's all round on the other side of things. WOXIC's actually got himself an AWP. And he's looking pretty scary with it. Needs outside. Should do a bit of damage. Not as much as I thought. Landed quite close to the players, but didn't seem to tag him up all too much. Xantares playing an interesting angle around these smokes. Really expecting a swing from Silo. There is a man up there, but doesn't seem to be peeking at the moment. The spam away. Doesn't connect either. He was hoping that would initiate the peak from on top of that great big marshmallow, but it doesn't. Reset just manages to slip down vents in the nick of time on the head angle. Spots him, can't tap him. Finds the first though. Into a 4-on-4, and luckily it gives his teammates enough time to start this rotation. Xantares catches out ZKS. Emor has made a lot of noise. His position's being held, and Arax wins the duel. Headshot found. Calix, here's one outside. He'll be able to take that one. That's the MP9 finding a kill, and should be able to upgrade here to an AK-47. Xantares, the low HP player, swaps out to the sniper. His tier 1 Turkish brother by his side. But Spargo, oh my goodness, this is such a smart play. Sit in the smoke, they're not going to expect it. And as it starts to fade, he'll push through. He's got a perfect backstab on both. Quick, so hard. And the instant reaction to throw the Molotov means that the defuse can come through. Xantares can take the head, and Spargo, he had that round handed to him on a silver platter, and he just couldn't take it. That's so unfortunate. To be fair, timings definitely don't bless him there. That was a rough one. As soon as they started to creep down that ramp, it sort of somewhat came out of reach. Quick technical pause, though, as we've seen Emor disconnect from the server. Let's see if I've got a bit of info. I don't think I do. But either way. Well, with Emor back in the server, we're ready to get rolling again. What's interesting is Xantares is actually 7-1 right now. Has not died since the pistol. And that's always scary. Xantares. Oh my goodness, this is such a perfect bit of aggression. Of course, it's only against the pistols, but it does merit him one. There's his second death, though, and he loses an AK, so not a great bit of cost there, considering that they're against an eco. An eco with a little more firepower behind it. Of course, a couple of pistols, a little bit of Kevlar. They've got the max loss bonus, so they can justify it. And they've managed to get their way onto the B-bomb site and got that C4 down. So, not bad at all. And that's always something that, even though Nuke is definitely inherently CT-sided, it's one thing that does favour the T-sided. It's very easy in rounds like this to get that bomb down. Whether you go for the smokes outside and flush down secret, or whether you go for a vent dive, that B-bomb site's always a fairly easy one to get onto and get a bomb down in a kind of forced by rush scenario like this. And that's an incredibly successful round from Kova. Whilst it might not seem like it, whilst they're 5-1 down, to find 3 kills and save an AWP in that scenario and get a bomb plant, that's fantastic. They should be very, very happy with that. Number 7 underweight. WOXİC pulling out another sniper, but I think he's going to be a little bit frustrated that he lost the one in the last. It's an expensive reinvestment, and it puts him in a little bit of a sticky economic situation. The rest of his teammates have got lots of money. He's now only down to $1,700. With Twixie finding his first kill of the game. Gets him on the board. Easter tucked behind the box. I thought his movement was pretty perfect there, but unfortunately gets caught out. No bomb down just yet, though. It is being planted, and as the nades rain in, they try and push through, and it does not work out. WOXİC and Xantares will probably just fall away and save in this one. Azimor's actually disconnected once again, so hopefully this isn't some major recurring issue, otherwise we might have some problems here. Well, we'll see this go 5-2, and we'll almost certainly see another technical pause after this. Unless Seymour can get himself into the server in the next few seconds. Oh, there he is. Maybe we don't need a tech pause. He's back. Maybe just after he died, he goes for a quick reset. Maybe something's still not working after he called that last technical pause. Counter-Strike's a very old and somewhat temperamental game. Five to 2, Kova somewhat back in the picture. I think they could really do with this round before they can call this any kind of big comeback. If they take this one, it'll be 5-3. They will have broken Eternal Fire's bank, and then they can really start to tie this one up. If they lose it, then it's 6-2, and they're still in a tough spot. They'll be able to rebuy, of course. They won't have that loss bonus behind them. And quite quickly, everything can kind of fall away. And they start to rain over. Xantares. Ooh. Mollied out. Looks like they're still going to try and go down secret, though. So whilst he can't peek as they're crossing and fighting over towards A main and heaven, he should still be able to have an impact later in this round as he still hears them stomping down those steps. He'll be able to fall back into the head angle. With the door open, he'll just jump spot. Good Molotov, spots the head, closes it, falls away. Xantares is playing this so well. This is exactly how you want to play this area as a B anchor. If you take the fights early, then that's it. You lose the B site, and it's a very tough site to retake. But if you just jump spot, you don't allow your opponents to kill you, you just maintain control. Use your utility to tag them down and force them back. It's absolutely perfect, and it means that they have to, in a last-second desperation, funnel onto the A site, where they're absolutely crushed. A flawless round here for Eternal Fire, and Spargo whilst he might be able to survive and save his AWP, in fact, he definitely will be able to. It's not a successful round. Not a successful round at all. Doesn't get any cash bonus either. The odds go 1 to 12. And to be honest, the money doesn't matter all too much. He had money behind him. His teammates have got enough cash to buy as well. So we'll see a full investment. But it's not great. Not a great scenario to be in. Xantares. Oh, a bit of a foolish play there from Yuli to try and push through that smoke. Xantares has kind of been playing that position outside the entirety of this half so far, so definitely should have been expected that he'd be able to cut that one off. Calix shuts him down too. Twixie trying to wriggle his way down ramp, but WOXİC, the third man to put his foot down in this round. And while ZKS does manage to catch out Xantares, who's kind of wallowing around in mid, I'm not sure if he'll be able to wriggle his way out of this one. A 1v5, now 1-on-3. Bomb on his back, but does he realise he's about to be backstabbed? I don't think he does. He's from behind, takes him down, 7-2. Really, really solid stuff here for Eternal Fire as they continue to string the rounds in their favour. On their opponent's map, pick as well. Remember, folks, if you want to compare yourself against the pros, teb.gg/3D aim trainers, where the leaderboards are for all of the pro players on 3D aim trainer. If you do want to check out 3D aim trainer, you can check it out over on the Steam store. You can compare your times against the pros. But a quick Kova timeout before they go for the next buy round. WOXİC is having a much, much better map here. It seems like Inferno was a little bit of a warm-up for him. His teammates were able to provide that support, especially Emor. Emor was absolutely integral to their successes over on that Inferno map. Now WOXÍC's come alive, though. This is where he's so scary. On a map like Nuke, he has so much space to free reign with that orb. I always think that orbing Inferno can be very, very difficult. And Xantares, oh my. He's patiently waited on the other side of that smoke so many rounds. This round he says, you know what, I'm just going to burst through it. I've got the confidence, and they're not going to expect it. And they absolutely don't. WOXÍC with another orb shot. Gets the bomb down, but not in a position to defend it, especially not with that molly. So instead, falls away, goes for the re-peek after Spargo's flash, and even wins that duel. He is just unstoppable right now. 8-2, Eternal Fire are looking very, very strong here. Very, very strong indeed. For ZKS, 11-8. Really the only man putting up any substantial numbers here on Kova. Everybody else on or below 5 frags. Twixie still with the only kill. The one. Not what you want. Definitely not what you want. Xantares this time, though, does lose his life early. That's Yuli taking it with the AK. With this max loss bonus that Kova have got going right now, they can kind of afford to buy into every round. I'm not sure if Twixie spotted the feet cross there, but the fact that he's not spamming indicates to me that he hasn't. And that's quite scary. Calix, if he tucks himself in this corner, as this smoke fades, he should have a major advantage onto Twixie. It kind of all depends on who sees who first. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the duel, but it's Twixie that wins it. Emor on the stairs, ready to take contact. Yuli's head about to poke over, and there you go, taps it away. Needs to find the second, though, to level out these numbers, and he does. A 5v3 becomes a 3-on-3, all off of Emor's shoulders, and he even takes it in his favour. 3v2, now a 2-on-2 as Twixie finally trades, as he's tripled his frag count this round, and he wants to do more. And WOXÍC and Issa, a very clutchable round, but not one that's necessarily in their favour. Not with the retake on the B site. WOXÍC has to try and trade it out, expecting ZKS to aggress at close range, and he doesn't. Takes a step back, catches WOXÍC off guard, and Kova make it 3. A big round there from Twixie, who, as I mentioned before, has been a little bit absent here on Nuke. 13-1, the odds start to shape up. 4 cents up for grabs if you want to place $1 on Eternal Fire right now. Because they're on fire. And it looks like they might be able to win this series. Yuli does manage to slip through. Takes quite a lot of damage from the molly though, and he could have just waited it out. The smokes weren't imminently dissipating. There was no rush to take that secret control because there was no one contesting it. But as Ajax pushes through, as the smokes fade, WOXİC, oh my goodness. The first shot was good enough. The second was so quick. The third, oh my goodness, almost comes through. Big flick up, can't quite connect. And you see the discipline right now. Even after all of the noise has been made outside, so much control taken from Kova, Eternal Fire say, we've still got the bomb sites, so we can just hold our crossfires. We don't need to go for anything crazy. We don't need to peek outside and risk losing any of our men, any of our weapons, and any further control. We can just hold on to what we have. Xantares, the lone defender of the B-bomb site, confirming that no one's actually slipped through secret yet, so they must still just be outside. And for Kova, are they actually going to save here? I mean, there's 25 seconds left. The bomb's still behind brick container and showing no signs of moving. I think they're going to save here. This has been a really bizarre round for Kova. To be honest, the save call's probably the right one to make, though. 2 men down, no damage dealt, no relevant control towards any of the sites. But I mean, it is 9-3. And off of the back of last round, I feel like they needed to string more together. When you're as badly down as they are, it's so important to get some momentum going. And taking one round in the middle of this sea of lost ones doesn't quite cut it. And that's all we've seen so far. Pistol round taken, 5 in a row lost. Round 7 taken, 3 in a row lost. Round 11 taken. And who knows how many can follow. Nine to 3. Decent buy here for Kova though. Remember, they've got the max loss bonus. They saved the AWP in the last. They don't get the cash, but it doesn't matter. They've still got the buy. They won't have a lot to work with in the next though. WOXİC still doing major damage. Finds that entry. Once again, he's been so good outside here on Nuke. And I want to see how many kills he's got. I think it'll be around 16, 17 at this point. Could hit the 20 mark by half time. That'd be a big performance from him. With this man advantage though, still a minute left on this clock. And no one in any hurry. On either side, to be honest. They are running down this clock seriously low though, and it's worrying. With 30 seconds left to tick, still no control. They're going to take this bomb. They're going to try and bomb it into the A site. Calyx anticipating it to be B because there has been noise made, and I think the call's been made as well. But they've still got 3 defenders over towards this A side of things. Molly should flush out the hollow vents player, but Emor plays that so well. And I'll explain why in a minute, because WOXİC's about to shut it down. One big flick onto Twixie, second peek out. Finds the kill, and my goodness, WOXİC with another triple. He's now on 19 frags. He should definitely be hitting 20 by halftime, reminiscent of what we saw from one win earlier on today. And you know, what was so smart about that play from Emor is when somebody mollies that hollow vent area and they come out of Squeaky, they only watch it for 2 seconds or so, right? And then if no peek comes through, they assume that no one's there, they push out a Squeaky door, and they divert their attention towards heaven and sight. But Emor's sat in that Molotov for a couple of seconds. Now, the sound cues probably should have been heard, but he swung out later, and it means that the attention's moved away, and Emor's able to find the kill before he falls. He would have been dead with nothing otherwise, but he managed to go 1 for 1, so really, really nice stuff from him. Emor shutting down the pistol buy here, and there you go. Another triple kill from the man. He's had a bit of a slow start here on Nuke, but he's picking it up onto 10 frags now. 21-9 for the odds, as Eternal Fire are really, really running away with this. 11-3. This could be a 12-3 half for them. There is, of course, money here for Kova to buy into this round, and they're going to call a quick timeout before they actually get into it. A drop from WOXİC over to ISA as well. Of course, this is the last round of the half. They've got tons and tons of money. It's interesting that ISA doesn't have enough for an M4. Everybody else with enough to drop in 5 of them. Well, I'm not really sure how much rides on this round, because, I mean, for Kova, they need it. They need every single round they can get, otherwise they're completely out of this series. For Eternal Fire, they've got so many rounds to play with. However, being on the CT side, being on their opponent's map pick, I think they do want this final CT round just to solidify it further. 11-4, plus a pistol round and the follow-ups can very easily be closed. 12-3 is a slightly different story. 12-3 is often too far gone, especially if Eternal Fire can win that T-side pistol. With a minute left on this clock, Kova running it down very, very low once again. They're actually in T-spawn, ready to set up the outside smokes. They're going to go for like a really late outside secret take. And it's interesting because Eternal Fire have pushed all the way up ramp, so their B side's actually quite vulnerable right now. And there we go. Deep smokes come in. They've got an option with those deep smokes. They can either wrap around to A or get down to secret. With Arax finding that headshot, I think they're going to try and push on to A, but Isa's aggression works out nicely. Twixer trades it, but a 3-on-2. WOXİC from behind with the AWP. Doesn't quite get the timing on the bomb, slipping through hut. Still a chance of the retake. Xantares needs to win this. Jewel does so beautifully. Headshot found. Spargo finds the WOXİC though. And Xantares, position known. 2-on-1 to clutch up. AWP retrieved from Spargo. And he's the resident sniper as well. He's the man you want with it. Xantares confident, but he's going to be towards Squeaky and he's not. There's just so many angles for him to clear. Twixy held on to sight, not going to move a muscle. Spargo on the tight angle, and he connects the shot beautifully. 11-4, Kova do manage to claw one back, but again, it's the pattern that repeats itself. When we see the dots afterwards, it's just Kova taking one round here and there, not able to string two together. That Pinnacle banner popping up. Remember, folks, this is potentially your last chance to get a bet in today on any of our Pinnacle Full Series matches. So make sure, if you do want to place a bet, teb.gg/welcome, and then if you use code FULL21, then they've got a great promotion where if you bet €10, you get €10. So definitely worth checking out. Round number 16, Arax, P250, and HE. And that's all the util that Kova have got. There's no kit either, so it's actually really bizarre. On the other side of things, Eternal Fire not opting for any utility. Glocks in Kevlar on all 5, and that is an unbelievable read. What on earth? They've dropped down ramp, and ZKS hasn't even peeked. I'm not sure if he made a step there or something, or maybe he poked the silencer out, but if Calix has just kind of spidey sense to that, spun around, 6th sense kicks in, and he's found that headshot, then that's unreal. With Xantares finding that headshot, I think this one is all said and done. This could be the beginning of the end as Eternal Fire take the pistol round in a flawless fashion. All 5 players staying alive. What a statement. What a way to start off your Swiss stage. You go into a game that, okay, you're the favourites. Of course, in this Swiss stage, I'm pretty certain there is some form of seeding where they try and place the top teams against the bottom. But either way, to come in with this kind of dominance, So far, they've dropped 12 rounds across the series, and they might not drop any more. And you got to think, just morale here for Kova. It's got to be in the bin. They've lost first map quite badly. They've gone onto their map pick, and it's just been a really rocky ride for them. 12-4 down, no money being on that CT side. They force into this one. If they lose it, Eternal Fire will take 14 before we see the next buy-up. I'm not sure how you claw your way out of that hole. I think it's definitely difficult. There you go, Xantares trades out his teammate WOXİC, who's fallen to ZKS. That 5-7 does a nice bit of damage, but that's all we'll see. And these pistols are actually getting some good damage done. The issue is they've lost the sight. The bomb's down. The only rifle retrieved is that Galil. There's still three AKs in play. And for Kova, it doesn't actually look like they're going for the round. They've got no kit, so they're just looking for exits. And exits, maybe they find. No, Calyx there to stop it. And there you go, just a complete shutdown. Arax might be able to catch one from behind. Oh my goodness, that was so messy. That could have been two. Instead, only the one. And he's not able to catch anything away from it either. It's just economic damage. And at this stage, economic damage means nothing. They've got no money behind them. The odds currently 1 to 85. A fifth of a cent is what you'll win if you place $1 on Eternal Fire, and that's if they close out the series. That's looking fairly certain at this point. But it's not over till the fat lady sings. Kova still with a small chance, perhaps. Ooh, Xantares, that's quick. The PT-50, I wasn't too sure how confident I was that it would find a kill there, but my goodness, that was a very, very fast response. Arax spamming away, does actually manage to take down a low HP more. The damage was dealt through the spams earlier, but it seems to be recovered quite nicely. WOXİC and Isa with a smoke shot and a headshot. Man advantage, bomb down, 14 on the cards here for Eternal Fire. It's still been a difficult round. Every single round that Eternal Fire seem to win, they seem to take a lot of damage, especially against these pistol buys. But the recurring theme is they win them every single time. Or at least they have been here on Nuke. And Kova just fall away and save. I mean, Yuli's definitely got grounds to fall away and save that AK-47. But ZKS, he's not really saving anything. It's a Desert Eagle. There's no Kevlar. He's got money to buy in the next regardless. Maybe he's Yuli's bodyguard in that scenario. Maybe he just doesn't want to feed his opponents there. I'm really not too sure. If I was him, I'd have had a crack at that. Try and get my KD up. Try and get an AK. That's the most important one. I don't think these players care too much about their KDs, but you know. AWP in play for Spargo. WOXİC not opting for one in this round. Definitely had enough money to invest, but decided against it. His teammates could have dropped him one as well. Instead, they want to just go for brute force with these rifles, and oh my goodness, look at that. What a complete shutdown. Every single man connecting his shots. Xantares even after finding two others, his position being known, he still connects for the third head. And ZKS on a nice little off angle here might be able to finally trade out Xantares. He's seen his backside poke through that window, but he hasn't reacted to it. He does manage to find that first. Not going to expect Xantares to his side, though. And Xantares makes it a 4K. Such a great round from the man. As he actually puts himself top of the server. 22 frags. And what's so crazy about this is not only is he sitting on 22 kills, but him and WOXİC have both got 6 deaths. The ex tier 1 superstars. 21-6 and 22-6. Sitting on match point right now. That's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Certainly not what we're used to. Maybe from these guys we're used to it. But at this stage, it's not a performance you see all too often. Yuli does open things up with a nice kill though. ZKS does take one. Emor picks up the pieces again. A 5v4 comes into a 3-on-3 just like that. Emor and Issa are incredibly low on health, but Emor playing this so interestingly, pushing through the smoke. Yuli reads it though. And Calix, the only man with HP behind him, looking to try and do some damage, but Yuli up the ladder. Pretty much single-handedly takes this round. Can't quite get the finisher. It's Spargo to do so, but that's all on Yuli's shoulders. 3 kills for him there. And whilst it maybe seems meaningless, it's another round there for Kova. 92-1. Almost 93. There's some big bucks to be won here. If you think Kova have still got a chance. I've seen it happen. That's not me giving advice, but I've seen it happen. I've been casting long enough. I've seen comebacks like this come through. I'm not very confident. I'm not very confident at all in this one for Kova. But it's happened plenty of times in CS history. And it always gets me excited when I see those crazy odds and think, what if? What if someone's gone for a punt with those? For Calix, a man up knows that he should be able to win this duel if he pushes out. The Heaven Man dropping down to sight, and only with an MP9. Twixie on the other side of this wall, but he's not made a sound, so no indication that he's actually there. It's an interesting setup. The Orb's got super aggressive. He's got support, but Xantares all the way under Heaven. And they're going to push through here. He's with Emor. They're going to have a great element of surprise onto the site players. I mean, Kova should be aware right now, bearing in mind they've not been contesting outside control, that there's potential for this. And Twixie holding it to some degree, but ZKS completely oblivious. And for now, they're not even going to push through. With 40 seconds left, Calix is actually going to be the first point of contact. Out of the squeaky door, spots the silencer, doesn't react to it. There's the site player gone. The AWP falls. Calix tears right through the defense. And there you go. Emor finishes off the